part of our conference day in the Games Gathering 2023. You are maybe the best viewers out of all because you managed to survive the first part, even the dinner, and still you're here to listen more. That's why, as a reward, you will hear a wonderful presentation from Kostiantyn Miroshnychenko, who will tell us about balancing your games, especially when they are gambling. How not to trick your viewers, how not to trick your players, but to make this an honest and open, a clear work. That is why welcome here, Kostiantyn Miroshnychenko.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I'm used to be a stand-up comedian in Prague, and it's not a new experience for me when I'm performing with an empty space of people. But I hope it will be interesting for everyone, and we will have a very good and interesting discussion during the next hour. So first of all, I want to know who are you? So could you applause, please, if you are a game designer? There is no game designers. One game designer, thank you. Product managers, project managers. Okay. Another profession, QAs or something like that, CEOs. Guys, who are you? Yeah. Okay. Today we will be talking about the social casino market, about differences between the social casino market and real money gambling market, and about our own expertise in this area and how do we solve our problems. So let's start. What we are talking about today. So the first important question is, what is the difference between two spaces? I hope somebody here played any of them or both of them, real money or social casino. The second part will be about the key principles in social casino market. So what is key performance indicators and what players on social market should see on. The third part will be about our approach in Murka in our company. So what main tricks we are using during our practice and what is the ideology of everything what we are doing in the company. And the fourth part may be the most interesting. It's an overview of some cases in our products, which will describe how we use our approach in real cases. So I'm working as game economy designer in Murka. Murka, it's a Ukrainian company who plays the social casino market from 2020 and successfully launched more than 6-7 big titles. Currently, I'm working on a product which called Slots Era, and we are near the top 100 in App Store in social casino applications. So, what is the main difference between the real money gambling and social casino market? It's a slots, so in both cases, player uses the same mechanic, but the difference is significant, and this significant difference comes from the several points. The first one, in real money gambling, you can withdraw your money, and in social casino, you can't. Of course, you will have a question, so why people play social casino if it's not possible to withdraw the money? The answer is pretty simple. Players in social casino plan to enjoy the slot mechanic. So just imagine we live in the simple world of free-to-play. Core mechanic is not match 3, not bubble shooter, etc. It's a slots. So it's the same free-to-play game with the different levels, with a different meta game, but where the core mechanic is the slots. And for the real money gambling, people mostly play to gamble, to increase or to lose their money in the most funniest way. The second difference is the third difference. The third difference comes from the source of the earning money in this area. In real money gambling, to play to gamble, you need to make a deposit first. So if you're interested with the slots which are available in casino, you can make a deposit and start to gamble. In social casino, you play for free, and you have to be engaged in playing the specific slots which provide by our application. And only then, if you want to continue play, you have to spend the money. And for developers, the most interesting difference, of course, it's regulations. So in real money gambling market, you have to have a license on all your part sheets, on all your mess, and you need to prove that your slot has a specific RTP. And in social casino, nobody cares about it, and you have a full freedom to provide some specific, unique experience for the player. So it gives us a possibility to use something like scenarios where the random is not fully random. And that's what we were talking about. Yes. We can skip it. Yeah, so key principles of social casino market. The first thing that all players in social casino market should obey, it's respect the free-to-play rules and approaches. So, of course, as everywhere, we have a lot of KPIs, which are pretty common. We should check the LTV, we should check the ROI, ARPU, CPI, etc. So it's the same business with where the LTV must be higher than CPI. The second principle is retention and engagements is most valuable things. So in very general world, real money gambling market, it's not very interesting in makes player very engaged. So if player made a deposit, he still have money in this game and he should earn it. In social casino, we have to engage players to play our game with a lot of meta game layers, live ops events, extended side loop, etc. To add some mechanics in the game, which will provide the extended session and provide the most interesting experience. The third one principle is a different approach to make maths for slots. It's especially for somebody who responsible for balancing the slot machines. So casino is random, but if you play the real money casinos, you should always be in the situation when you are waiting for some specific mechanic which is described in the pay table, like you're waiting for bonus game or you're waiting for free spins, but you're waiting for 30 minutes, for example. And in social casino world, we don't have a possibility to make such big pauses between something very interesting for player. So social casino market uses the different approach about the frequency of very specific features. And the second point is, as we're not playing only for gamble, we're playing for some additional rewards. The user RTP in social casino market is lower than in real money gambling, because we need to have a big rewards for completing some goals, and of course it will give you some additional RTP, but from another source. And one word about the full random. As a lot of casual games use, for example, like tutorials, scenarios, we use the scenarios too. So it's something like spins with the fixed results, or, for example, when we need players to continue their playing, we can give them more than 100% RTP. If we want them to churn the money, we can give them RTP like 70%. It all depends on us and all depends on our strategy. About our approach. So what we're using in Murka and what we are trying to focus on. The first one, it's optimize personal experience. What does it mean? If you have created the balancing for any games, you know that you should focus on like average number of sessions, average session length, or average number of levels which you're completing per one day, for example. In our company, we decided to go out from this approach, and we decided to provide the personal experience for everyone. What does it mean? It means that we are predicting the player's behavior, how many spins they will do, what bets they will use, and based on all this data, we're giving them the specific balance which can push them to receive any goals. These goals come from the meta layer, so it could be some LiveOps events, it could be some internal features, so at least it should be something that player can reach. The next interesting point here is focus on our strengths. What does it mean? A lot of people in their projects making a lot of features, some of them successful, some of them not. And it's always a question, what should we do next? In our company, we have a very simple approach. That means that we should improve the best our features because we 100% sure that player loves them and interact with them. So the most of our tests, the most of our new researches, it's about creating like new additional step in some our best features. I will tell you a little bit later about the specific features and how we do it. The third one is define who is your player. So it's very interesting to make everybody pay for your game, but it's always not successful. So in any case, you will have a whales, you will have a small players, and you will have a dozen of people who didn't pay, who plays your game and didn't pay you any dollar. Pareto principle also works here. So our idea is to find who pays for our game and provide specific experience for them and make them pay more. The next key idea of our company is endless A/B testing and improvement. Every day we're trying to find some new sweet spots in our game mechanics and provide some new experience. So it could be like second, third floor of some features, and it can give us additional money, and it can give the players additional engagement to play the game. And the last but not the less important, it's about that all metrics are important. What does it mean? In our practice, we are trying to watch all the possible KPIs that could be valuable for our game. So, for example, if any feature give us 10 more percent spins daily, but don't give us additional money, it means that this feature has a potential because the player engagement is still increased. And all the next steps, we should work under the balancing, under the additional motivation about this feature, etc. So in our practice, we are continue working on the feature if some important in-game metrics increasing during the testing phase. It's a very common question about the A/B testing because a lot of people want to use it actively, but gave up when something is not going as they expected. And in some companies, this practice is not very распространенная. It's not very active. So in our project, we're making like 20 major A/B tests per month. It's quite a good result, and I hope in several years we will have like 40 and now we can do it only because of the user base, that if you want to provide a good A/B test, which will show you significant changes in different metrics, you also should have significant groups of people who are taking part in this A/B test. And the very interesting number, it's the number of successful A/B tests. In our experience, it's only 30%. Or maybe it's 30%, wow. That means that if you start this way to provide A/B testing in your game, it means that if you received like 5 non-positive results in a row, it doesn't mean that you should stop use A/B testing. So it means that you should change the approach how to select what are you testing and what is the idea you want to prove. So year by year, the percent of successful A/B tests in our company increased. So in the beginning of this usage, it was like 10%. Now it's 30%, and I'm very proud of it. Yes. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So about the personalization, how do we reach this? So Murka actively uses the deep player segmentation. We have one very good prediction model that can help us to understand how three main things. How many spins player is going to do today, how much coins player is going to spend today, and how much money player is going to pay. So these three, the main things that we are including into our balancing, and these are things what we are going to reach or make some push to increase these numbers. So for example, if we know the prediction of somebody is to make 100 spins in some WebOps event, we are giving him a goal to make 120 spins. And it could be additional motivation to pay and to reach this goal with some specific reward. And this model is based on the historical data. And at the moment, it has a very strong accuracy, like 87% probability. The value of spent will be lying in the 3 sigmas coverage. How do we use this segmentation? So basically, the main idea of this segmentation is define how many spins they will do and set the goals. And it helped us to go out from the classic game economy approach and provide like as many unique balances for each player as possible, as reasonable. So, for example, for some features we have like 15 segments. For some features we have like 50 segments. For some 100 segments. It depends on the spread between the key performance indicators that we are going to reach. So, for example, if we're using the feature when we're expecting the number of spins specific from player, from the historical data we know that the number of spins performed by players can be wide from 1 spin to 10,000 per day. So we, for each bin of this distribution, we create specific balance, and it forms the goal the player will receive in some specific features. Of course, it's very interesting theme when we're talking about this in general, but it will be more interesting to see how it works and why it works in some cases. So, the first one. The first one about how we decided to increase the number of segments that we're using in some specific feature. The most valuable feature in our game, it's called Spinathon. Idea of this feature is very simple. So you see the scale on the screen. And this scale means that if player will spin cumulatively, for example, 17 million, 51 million, 93 million, 157, etc., he will receive a specific reward. In this case, it's a boosters to have a more experience from the playing the game. So, and this data is based on our predicting model. So, idea of this A/B test was to increase the number of segments. It's, in other words, increase the number of unique balances which are used for this feature. Idea was if we will spread between the different groups some very large groups, they will be closer to their goals and it can give them additional motivation to reach them. So simply testing the idea, if we will increase the number of segments by 6 times, how it will work. What was the result? About the game activity, about the spins, the significant wasn't, the changes were not very significant. About the revenues, we received 10% more ARPU, which is great. Also, we are used to exclude the whales from all our calculations because it may have an influence on our decision, and in general, we are trying to avoid them. And also, we received a small winning in the number of paying groups. So, what is the key learning from this case? It means that if we are setting the additional goal here, and if it's very close to something that player will actually do, these steps may be an additional motivator to make a payment. And also it proves that our idea of segmentation is working, which is good. The next case is also about our strong points and how we managed with that. So we decided to add a new feature in our game, which is called high roller slots. What is the general idea? So in our application, we have more than 150 slots. Some of them are successful, some of them not. And we decided to do something with our successful slots to understand if it can help us to make more money from the people. So idea was to take the most popular slots and simply add a big jackpot on them, but with one question, that if you want to receive your jackpot, you should play the higher bet than you used to. And the history of this feature was also very interesting because we didn't receive the result immediately. We had to work a lot under this feature to understand how it should work and how it can give us additional money. That's like a helicopter overview, how everything is changed, and also it's like a description how every analysis of A/B tests in our company looks like. So we are watching about all the metrics which could be reasonable for this feature. So for example, if we're adding some new feature to gameplay, we also should see to the number of spins, the median cores per user at the end of the day, about the session length, about how many players spent the money, and of course to the main KPIs like RPU, like LTV, etc. So in the final result, we received the 9% RPU increment, but it wasn't so easy as it looks like in the one screen, because we reached it in 3 steps. And the results of the first step weren't as successful as we expected. So when we launched the feature the first time, we understood that the feature has potential, but still it don't give us the money. How this potential looked like? The most engaged users, not the all, started to use this feature, started to play the slots. They started to play the higher bet, but they had a decreasal in the number of spins. So in general, we didn't receive something additional, but the only one beautiful thing that they are interested with that mechanic. So what should be the second step in that case? We should to improve the balancing of the feature. We should to improve some another things to make this result received in the first step stronger than it was. In the second iteration, we decided to do two things. The first thing was improve the visuals of this feature to understand, to make this feature more popular to another players, because the only specific whales took catched up this feature. So we wanted to place a better UX to this feature. We wanted to make it more appealing. And of course, the second idea was to increase the number of jackpots, which could be more interesting for other people. In the second iteration, we received also interesting result. The first one is the first result was the feature penetration increased, so the more people started to play this feature, so UX worked okay. And about the number of spins, it didn't work okay for specific balances and groups. So we had a positive result on several groups and the negative result on the another groups. And in general, it was like the same result. So what we decided to do in the third iteration, we decided to change the conditions for specific groups. So we know that half of our players have the positive impact, so this idea works. And for another people, we decided to increase jackpots in like 5 times. And it started to work, and we received these results. In the second iteration, it was plus 0% APU. The next case, it talks not only about the good, successful ideas of A/B testing, it also shows how a good idea in general may not work. About this feature, battery of boost. Initial idea of this feature was to make a second additional layer on one of our successful features. This successful feature called tower in our games, and the idea is the following. When you place a specific bet, you receive the specific pouches that you can exchange later to some specific rewards. And if you place a higher bet than we expect, you receive pouches with a better grade and you can receive more rewards. So idea of this feature was to add battery in our game, and if you will play to higher bet for a specific time, you will receive the doubled numbers of pouches when you will play later. So by idea, everything should work, but everything didn't went according to the plan. So it's like a helicopter view on mind map of our ideas, what should work, what shouldn't work. That's actually a slide about what I'm proud about of our analysts. And in any case of this one, we try to prove or decline some hypotheses about actually what it's not working in this feature. So as we see from the description of this feature, there might be some, of course, balancing tweaks. So for example, the duration of battery charging and the multiplier on the pouches. We tried to play the both of them. And in three test runs, we didn't manage to find the right idea. What was the problem? Actually, the most problem is the session duration. And if we want to create the part of the session which half of each should be the battery charging phase, and the next one is the battery usage, this time frames was too small. So we don't have like 100 minutes session length to give these significant changes in our KPIs. And also visuals didn't work. So after 3 iterations, we understood that this feature has no potential, and this was one of the 70% not successful A/B tests in our company. So key insights, what I want to share with you in today's presentation. So first of all, it's you don't need to waste time of something which is not working. You have to focus on the features that you are 100% sure that they're working. The second insight is you should test the feature until you find the potential how to use it. So if you have some improvements in non-revenue metrics, for example, it's okay. So it means that you can use it, but you have to find the right balancing, right approach how to use it. Of course, the third insight is don't give up if you don't see immediate results. So the main idea for the company is to create the approach when all your ideas are testing good, and you know the way when you should stop under specific features and when you have to continue. And the fourth insight, it's about providing unique personal experience. Mostly, I'm very proud of our balancing system, which not targeting to some averages. And as a lot of experiment shows, the future is about the unique personal experience for everyone. And from the game design part, we should understand how to make it. Thank you for listening, and now it's a time for questions. Thank you.
Great. You'll have your personal microphone. Here we go.
Thank you very much for the presentation and for sharing your findings and insights. It was very interesting to see how you personalize the experience. And the question is, like many games are like PvP when there is a bit harder to personalize the experience for each of the player, especially with the live ops. Do you have this problem, or how do you go around like live ops and different players seeing different, I don't know, numbers, offers, and so on?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. It's always important question about when we're talking about the social games, when we have some leaderboards, when we have some PvPs. It's also a big problem that it should be fair conditions for everyone. So, and also there is a way how to manage it. So, in case you have a specific face-to-face like battle or something like that, you have to make a lot of efforts how to create specific clusters of players who playing with the same conditions. So in our game, we have something like leaderboards, we have tournaments, and we're going to make the clans in our game. And idea is using our segmentation, you have a competition between the players who are on the same segment, or in the group of segments. So when we went out from the idea of like small number of segments, we didn't have the problem because the groups were big enough. And when we have very, very big segmentation, now we have like ranges of comparable segments which can play together. So the economies of the players in the same group who compete for something should be equal or similar in any case.
If I may add, this is how I would approach it, which is very clever. But on the other hand, the users, I'm not sure how it is with like casinos and social casinos, but they go on, I don't know, Reddit, share what they see, the numbers and so on. So the community finds out that there are different setups. So how do you work with the community aspect of personalization?
For sure. About the community, idea is put the segmentation for the most hidden as things as possible. So, for example, you can make it in the drop of the chests, or you can make it for the randomizing some things in the game, so that people believe that some features are truly random. So they receive the different random. Of course, even in social casino, we have a lot of interesting speeches and comments when players share their screens with the different daily tasks, for example. But still, they have an understanding that somebody is in the bronze league and somebody is in the silver league. So they have a difference because of that. But actually, the truth is I don't know. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? If no, then I have a question from myself.
Yeah,
Did you have some features in your project that didn't go quite well and you had to remove them completely? And which attitude in those cases is better, to add something and if you see that it is low performance, then try to improve it, or to accept that it didn't go quite well and to remove it completely?
Yes, thank you. It's a very interesting question. Our idea is still, if somebody likes the feature in our game, we can use it for a specific audience. So, for example, in our segmentation of feature, 2 of 15 segments will have this feature, and 13 of them will not have this feature. But in general, from the previous experience especially, we tried to remove feature from the game. It should be a very, very strong reason to do it, because still somebody likes it. So it may happen only if the changes that it caused are deductible, maybe the right word. So if the conditions of the game after feature is removed is not ruining the game at all. So, for example, if you add clans on the game and it's not performing well, it doesn't mean that you should remove the clans from the game, because a lot of people will have some rewards from the clan system, etc. So it's better to switch the focus from this feature to another features until you are working under the improvement of this feature.
Okay, I see. Interesting point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go.
I built myself a few game economies, and in the process, I found out it's very hard to find resources on how game economies should look like, how they are built, how to simulate them, and so on. So, what resources would you recommend, or what do you use?
About some skills, some hard skills and soft. Actually, for building the balances for slot machines, we have a beautiful server simulation in our company that fully substitutes all the part sheets in Excel. So you simply insert the configuration to our system, and you will receive all required results. For example, the frequency of bonus games, the dispersion between the winnings in free spins, etc. So everything that we are trying to automate, And a lot of things, of course, you need to feel to understand the how the small tweaks of several numbers will have impact on full game economy. So still the best tool to build the game economies, it's Excel, because of two things. The first one, it's very hard to share the documentation of the game if it's not readable by another person. And the probability that you will find the game designer from the other side who will understand your scripts is very low. And about the Excel, a lot of people at least can understand how it should work. So we used to use like the massive spreadsheets and in Excel, which shows the dependencies between all the features, and hopefully we have enough people who can read them.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I guess we can finish now.